Zoe stared out the window of her family's high-rise apartment, watching the city buzz with life below. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, had recently hired a new maid, Amelia, to help with the household chores. Amelia was polite, efficient, and kept to herself, but something about her seemed off to Zoe. Zoe's parents were busy professionals, often away for work, and Zoe spent most of her time tinkering with gadgets and solving puzzles. When Amelia started working for them, Zoe couldn't help but notice her strange behavior. Amelia often sneaked into rooms, carried a mysterious bag, and used her phone for long periods. One evening, while Zoe was working on her latest tech project, she saw Amelia entering her parents' home office. Curious, Zoe followed quietly and peeked through the slight ajar door. Amelia was on the computer, typing rapidly and looking over her shoulder every few seconds. What is she doing? Zoe wondered. She decided to keep a close eye on Amelia and gather more information before jumping to conclusions. The next day, Zoe confided in her best friend Jake. Together they hatched a plan to uncover Amelia's secrets. Zoe set up a small surveillance system in the apartment, using cameras she had built herself. They monitored Amelia's activities, hoping to catch her doing something suspicious. Their efforts paid off. Zoe noticed that Amelia frequently accessed her parents' computer and spent a lot of time on it. One afternoon, Zoe and Jake found a USB drive hidden in Amelia's room. With a mix of excitement and fear, they plugged it into Zoe's laptop and discovered encrypted files. Zoe's curiosity turned into determination. We need to crack this, she told Jake. There has to be something important in these files. Zoe and Jake knew they had to act. They waited for an opportunity to confront Amelia when Zoe's parents were out. That evening, they saw Amelia sneaking into the home office again. Gathering their carriage, they approached her. Amelia, we know you've been using my parents' computer and hiding this USB drive, Zoe said, holding up the device. What's going on? Amelia looked shocked for a moment, but then sighed and nodded. I was hoping I wouldn't have to reveal this, but you have left me no choice. She explained that she was not a maid, but an undercover investigator hired by Zoe's parents. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson suspected that someone at their workplace was stealing sensitive information, and Amelia was gathering evidence to expose the culprit. I had to act secretly to avoid blowing my cover, Amelia said. I'm close to uncovering the thief, and I needed access to your parents' files to confirm my suspicions. Zoe and Jake were stunned but relieved. Amelia's explanation made sense, and they realized she was trying to protect their family. Despite Amelia's explanation, Zoe couldn't shake off a nagging feeling. What if she's still hiding something? She whispered to Jake the next day at school. Jake frowned. You think there's more to this? Zoe nodded. We need to keep digging. There's something about Amelia that doesn't add up. They decided to follow Amelia outside of the apartment. That evening, Zoe tracked Amelia as she left work, heading towards a secluded area of the city. Zoe's heart raced as she and Jake tailed Amelia discreetly. Amelia entered an old run-down building. Zoe and Jake followed, creeping quietly through the dimly lit corridors. They heard voices and peered through a crack in the door. Inside, Amelia was speaking with a shadowy figure. The Johnsons are getting suspicious. We need to move faster, she said. Zoe's heart pounded. What does she mean by we? She wondered. They listened intently, trying to catch every word. The shadowy figure replied, Don't worry. Once we have the data, will disappear without a trace. The Johnsons will never know what hit them. Zoe and Jake exchanged worried glances. We need to tell my parents, Zoe whispered. They have to know about this. They rushed back home and waited anxiously for Mr. and Mrs. Johnson to return. As soon as they walked through the door, Zoe blurted out everything she and Jake had discovered. Her parents listened, their faces growing pale. We need to act quickly, Mr. Johnson said, grabbing his phone to call the authorities. The next day, the police set up a sting operation. Zoe, Jake, and her parents watched from a safe distance as Amelia and her accomplice were arrested. Amelia's true identity was revealed. She was part of a criminal organization that specialized in infiltrating companies and stealing sensitive information. The USB drive Zoe and Jake found contained stolen data from multiple victims. Zoe's parents were shocked but grateful. You saved us, Zoe, her mother said, hugging her tightly. We couldn't have done it without you and Jake. Zoe learned a valuable lesson about trust and vigilance. She realized that while it's important to be cautious, it's also crucial to have faith in the people you love. Her parents decided to take a break from work and spend more time with Zoe. They went on a family vacation, leaving the city behind to reconnect and heal from the ordeal. Amelia's arrest and the subsequent investigation brought the criminal organization to justice. The Johnsons' lives slowly returned to normal, but the experience left a lasting impact on them. Zoe gained a new perspective on trust and the importance of protecting loved ones. She also learned about the challenges of adult responsibilities and the value of using her skills for good. The incident made Zoe more cautious but also more appreciative of her family. She continued to pursue her passion for technology, using her skills to help others and solve mysteries. As Zoe looked over the city from a bedroom window, she felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. She knew that no matter what challenges came her way, she had the strength and determination to face them head on. The adventure had changed her, but for the better. With her family safe and the mystery solved, Zoe looked forward to new adventures, confident in her abilities and lessons she had learned.